Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fruitymasterz channel, and today let's find an answer to that eternal question. Does FL Studio sound different than other software, like Studio One or Ableton? Let's find out, and let's drink some beer. Yeah. Now, today we will be using phase cancellation, and some of you might know what that means, but some of you might not. So let's explain it very basically. Let's say you created a new track, let's name it track, and let's give it a value, that's 1. So, now when we clone this track, we got track 1 again. And when we play those both together, we got 2, or extreme distortion and overloads and stuff, but then 1 and 1 is 2. Now let's say we invert the polarity of this track. I'm not even sure if that's the right word, but I might have watched too much Star Trek. Now, when we invert the polarity, it says -1. It will not sound very different, but yeah, it's negative. So the first one is positive, the other one is negative, but they were originally the same track. Now, when you add those up, you will get 0. Yeah, but this is where it gets interesting. Okay, let's say the first track is a new track, track B. It's different because it's not 1, but 1.247. So, let's invert the polarity of the second one, -1. We won't get 0, but we will get 0.247. Yeah, so the difference between those two values or numbers is this, 0.247, and that's called phase cancellation, sort of, and that's what we are going to use today. Now, a while ago I bought the masterclass by Deadmau5. Some of you of the hardstyle producers might not like him because of his hardstyle kick story. Now, look behind that. At a certain point on YouTube I saw about 20, maybe 30 trailers of his masterclass, so I bought it because I was very interested in it and I really liked it. I learned a lot from it. It's a lot of basic knowledge, but then it's also professional knowledge. And I saw his studio, and he also explained his studio in the videos, and that's very awesome because he has a big ass studio. Now, in that masterclass we got the snow cone stems to make some sort of a remix or cover, I don't know, but that is what we are going to use today to compare FL Studio with Studio One. Now, I was trying to figure out a fair way to compare those two. So I know Deadmau5 created his snow cone track in Ableton, and this is the unmastered version, of course, because they are the stems, but they are also very pure. I'm guessing it's wave format, 24 bits. Yeah, something like that. It's very high quality audio, because there are not a lot of MP3 files who are 1.28 gigabytes. And that reminds me of Back to the Future somehow. So, because this is Ableton, we can compare FL Studio to Studio One without having a track created in FL Studio comparing it to Studio One. That wouldn't be fair. So, first let's go into Studio One. Now, you might think, why not Logic or Ableton or other software? That's simply because I only bought FL Studio and Studio One. So, this is Studio One. Let's simply select the snow cone stems and drag it into Studio One right here. Okay, and now we can play it. Okay, so let's render this track, Snow Cone Raw Studio One. Wave, let's make it wave. We want to select a format which FL Studio also has. So yeah, 24 bits, 44.1 kilohertz. Yeah. Okay, so there we have our Snowcone Raw studio. Now I never recorded in two DAWs at the same time. Oh, wait. I want to do something else, by the way. I made a preset and I also downloaded Fabfilter, the demo of multiband compressor. I really like it and I'm planning to buy it. Let's open up the preset, Snowcone multiband. Now the reason I'm doing is to check out if Studio One alters or affects the multiband compressor, which is an external VST. So Snowcone Studio Snowcone MB multiband. Now this was the hard part. Let's check if I'm still recording. Let's play some audio. Yeah, cool. So now we go into FL Studio and we do the same thing. FL Studio Rewire. That's basically a bad thing. Let's do it again. Yeah. So there's FL Studio. And this is, by the way, my own sample pack, which I haven't told you about. And I probably won't. Perhaps I'll edit it away from the video. Now, the thing I like about FL Studio 12, for the people who are still using 9 or 10 or perhaps 11, I'm not sure, you can import multiple stems, files, layers, tracks at one time. I used to do this in FL Studio 10 and it was a pain in the ass. Now, okay, let's render this the same way. FL Studio 12. Wave 24-bit. Okay, this all looks fine. Okay, let's hit it. Yeah, way too fast. Okay, now let's go to the master channel. Let's go 6 decibels lower to avoid the clipping we had in Studio One. Let's add the multiband and go to our preset. Cool. Let's export it again. Now from this point I will need to record my voice with another thing. I'm guessing my phone. Hello everyone. Yeah, cool. Hello everyone. Okay, I'll need to amplify that later. Yeah, cool. Okay, so from now I'm going to stop recording in Audacity. I'll export it. So now we are going to compare the files. Let's start with the raw versions. FL Studio 1 raw and FL Studio 12 raw. Okay, the volumes seem to be the same. Oh, wait. So let's do the phase cancellation thing I explained in the intro. But first let's split the stereo channels to avoid them swapping with each other. And now let's invert the second one. Now before I play this, if those two tracks are exactly the same, we won't hear anything. The more we hear, the more difference there is. Now the difference might be volume, or it might be the engine sound, people say. Let's go. Let's play. Okay. So I do hear something. My amplifier is on very loud right now. So if I disable, when I disable one of the inverted ones or the normal ones, my speakers will go nuts. Okay, this is interesting. Now there might have been a difference in the render settings I overlooked. I'm feeling very high unpleasant frequencies at the moment. Yeah, my ears don't like this. Or I'm having a heart attack. Don't know how that feels. Or there might be something wrong with the beer. Yeah, so I stop playing and the weird feeling is gone. Let's go to one of the louder parts. Okay, so let's render. No, let's do something else. Let's import the original snow cone stems and let's compare it separately with FL Studio's version. And nah, that won't be fair. Let's first render this with Audacity. Wave 24. Where is wave 24? Wave 24. Compare me. Snow cone. Raw. Okay, that's not true. That's scar, I guess. Now, first let's turn down my volume because otherwise my ears might blow up. Okay. So, this is the original snow cone, or the Audacity version. Let's compare it to the FL Studio version and the Studio One version. Let's go to full screen for that. Let's invert the top one. Oh, I hate this zooming thing. Invert. And let's invert this one. So the one, the noisy one will be the one with the most difference. So okay, this one is FL Studio. Let's first do FL Studio. So let's mute Studio One. Okay, let's power up the amp big time. Okay, this is bloody interesting. There is no difference at all. Now it might be that Audacity and FL Studio use the same engine. That would make a lot of sense. Or this would be that FL Studio has a very clear sound. So let's go to the Studio One version. Yeah, I hear some noise. Okay, now there's audio. Okay, let's import FL Studio again. Let's reverse the polarity. Yeah, and then let's add in the original mixdown, which will be more awesome and more high quality. So that won't be fair perhaps. But if there is no, if this won't give any noise, that would mean FL Studio has the highest quality audio of everyone. Holy hell. Now this can be true. I don't like saying this, but I think FL Studio has more audio clarity in its export, I guess. Wow. Yeah, but it's not final. Okay, now let's import the Studio One version. It seems at least seems fair. Let's split them to keep them separated. Invert and invert. There's a little bit of noise. Okay, cool. Now let's compare the multibands. Is there more difference when you use an external VST? FL Studio. Let's first, and Studio One. Let's see if they are indeed Studio One and FL Studio before I screw this up. Split stereo channel, invert, and invert. Now I'm guessing there should be a lot of difference. So there's definitely more difference. Okay, it seems it really touched the hi-hat, the multiband. Okay, now people, this was the video. This experiment doesn't really prove anything, or perhaps it does. The difference is not really big between the rendered versions. Now I rendered a mixdown, so basically I rendered a track created in FL Studio, sort of. Yeah, the reason when people tell you your tracks might sound fruity or like Fruity Loops, or they can instantly hear it's Fruity Loops, might be because of the Fruity Loops native plugins like FL Keys, but yeah, I don't think lots of people use that. But then it might also be Nexus. Now, when you are not really professional yet and you don't know a lot of mixing and mastering and stuff, and you use lots and lots of Nexus, yeah, your tracks might sound fruity to other people because of the Nexus, I think. But then here's a funny fact. Let's go to FL Studio. Damn. Let's insert FL Slayer. Where is it? Because perhaps Nexus does sound fruity. Look. FL Slayer was made by the company who built Nexus. ReFX. So that's pretty cool. Now, thank you all for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you want to know more stuff and you want to see more videos, subscribe. That might come in handy, because then you would know when there's a new video. And see you again next time. In the next videos we will do serum and silent tutorials. We will be working with compression, melodies and other cool stuff, and writing melodies, some cool tips and tricks, and perhaps also other stuff. We will also do hardstyle again this year, but I can't promise when, because I'm still buying plugins and stuff for that, so that might take a while. Yeah, so see you again next time. Thank you for watching again. By the way, also forgot to mention, Martin Garrix created his first hit in FL Studio, Animals. You might have heard from it, but then after he made that hit, you would expect him to go to in a professional studio. He wouldn't work in FL Studio anymore, more with something like Logic, Cubase, Pro Tools, Ableton, Studio One perhaps. But I found out he is still using FL Studio. Now, I couldn't hear this in his tracks, because when you hook up FL Studio to a professional big studio, I don't think you can hear you can tell the difference, you can hear it. Because once you know someone is using FL Studio and he created a track, you might say, hey, that sounds fruity. But when you don't know he created it in FL Studio and you don't know the guy, you cannot hear this. You might guess it, but you cannot hear it. So if you want to use FL Studio, go ahead. But if you want to make your living, if you want to work professional with audio, you should learn something about other software so you can work in Logic, in Ableton, in other software. And that might open up your eyes to new possibilities, new ways to create sounds, and you can still work in FL Studio. But if you want to do professional work for other people, you should know some stuff about other software. So try experimenting with demos perhaps, or with other people. This will only add up to your experiences and your portfolio, I guess. So again, thank you all for watching. See you again next time.